Howdy, I am Eric Delesneski, and today I am going to present my entomology digital monarch butterfly project. Here's some important information about our project. Before I get into explaining the process, the results and goals of our group, I need to start by sharing that our original intent was to team up with the Bryan Police Department as our community partner. We wanted to establish a habitat for monarch butterflies at the department within their current landscaping. Unfortunately, this partnership did not materialize due to being unable to establish a contact person after several attempts at the police department. We had called numerous amount of times and even tried to contact the wildlife support system. This created some confusion for all of us, and in the end, we made the decision as a group to move forward with a new project. Despite the initial setback we faced, we are all very excited about this new project that we got. We have all worked very hard on it and will continue to do so as we go forward from today. With that being said, I'm going to share this project with you. Few group members. Our group members that we had were me, Eric Delesneski, Drew Smith, Will Harbachek, Lane Bonker, Savannah Thorne, Ryder Burns, Pierce Ruiz, Marielle McInnes, and Cynthia Julian. Together, we created a very good team and accomplished a lot of things. As I previously mentioned, we had a major setback with our project, how we had to completely change everything with a very short amount of time to accomplish the rest of it. Nevertheless, we worked very well together, and no one panicked, and everyone made the time to get together to get our project going down the right path. We stayed in contact with GroupMe, which also enabled us to share pictures with one another. Everyone was active and responsive, which really helped us adapt to the different direction we had to go within our project. For this project, our group community partner was Dr. Codes. Our project began and is currently continuing at the greenhouse at Texas A&M, located on Agronomy Road. The plants we are growing will be moved to local parks in College Station to provide populations of monarch butterflies with feeding and breeding grounds. Here is a picture of our project being planted and the seeds being planted at the greenhouse. As a group, before we even started the project, we discussed what we wanted to accomplish. As I mentioned before, our eventual goal is to move the plants to local parks to provide populations of monarch butterflies with feeding and breeding grounds. We came up with a list of goals to help guide us and keep us on track throughout the project. We broke it down into short, medium, and long-term goals, as you can see. Our short-term goal was to successfully plant and grow the seeds. To accomplish this, we planted them and watered them every other day. Given the need to restart our project, group participation at this stage by everyone was really critical. Thankfully, we had that. Growing plants from seeds with the right light and environment like we have at the greenhouse is a great way to make sure we will be able to accomplish our medium-term goal. The medium-term goal is to have plants ready to be moved into a different environment and become habitats for monarch butterflies. We are getting very close to accomplishing this goal, but for now, we need to wait for all our plants to continue to grow in the greenhouse so that we can safely move them outdoors to local parks. Plants usually take 3 to 6 weeks or so to grow from a seed to where they can be transported. We will continue to water and feed the plants and watch for signs of distress like mold or other issues, and will take care of them properly when needed. Our long-term goal is to help aid the populations of monarch butterflies by providing habitats for them. We also want to provide them with a feeding ground. We will do this by moving the plants to local parks like Bee Creek Park, Richard Carter Park, and Gabbard Park. We have not yet accomplished this goal due to the plants not being grown in the amount of time that we have had on this project. At this point, our plants are not big enough to move, and we feel that it would be best to let them continue to grow. The process began with us contacting Anna, our TA, to get seeds of plants like the mealy blue sage, cutleaf daisy, prairie V, and many more. We then got soil and began to fill up several trays with it. The picture here shows myself filling up the tray with soil so I can plant the seeds in it once I am done. After the tray is pretty much filled to the brim, I got between 1 and 5 seeds of mealy blue sage and planted them in each individual section of the tray, as you can see. I personally used only mealy blue sage because I felt that it would be most beneficial for the monarch butterflies to have in their environment. Others used the previously mentioned plants so that we can provide a variety of plants for the monarch butterflies. This is a picture of what mealy blue sage looks like in a garden setting, and hopefully what our plants that are growing will end up looking like. To go into more depth about the mealy blue sage, it is a herbaceous plant, flowering plant that is not a grass. It has fragrant leaves and blue-violet fragrant flowers. It is native to Mexico and parts of the United States, including Texas, which makes it easy to grow here. It is perennial, so it lives for several years. When it is full grown, the mealy blue sage will be about 18 to 36 inches tall. The plant flowers in the spring, late spring, or early summer. Late summer or early fall and fall. The mealy blue sage is drought tolerant, which makes it nice for Texas weather. It requires full sun to partial shade to survive. Finally, it is a nectar source that attracts butterflies and hummingbirds. Mealy blue sage also goes well with other plants to make beautiful gardens and attract butterflies and other insects. For example, mixing it with butterfly milkweed is perfect for butterfly gardens because the milkweed is a larval host for the monarch butterfly. Okay, so after all the seeds were planted, we watered each section of the tray every other day for a week up to this date. I will continue to do this to help the plants grow. Once we feel that the plants are ready to be moved, as I've mentioned, we will transplant them to some local parks. To make sure we are successful, we will choose an overcast morning with little to no wind. We will wet the soil in the new hole as well as the soil in our pots. We will spread out the roots as much as we can without breaking them, and then we will add some soil into a different environment. But for now, we are going to just go into the greenhouse 3 to 4 times a week and watering them. To begin with our results, we haven't really had much other than a few sprouts, as you can see in these two pictures, because we had to change projects only a week ago. We were hoping to have better pictures of the plants beginning to come out of the soil, but a week just wasn't really enough time. Some seeds did actually grow faster than others, and we do have sprouts, which is encouraging. The mealy blue sage, the one I planted, actually sprouted and has begun to grow, as you can see on the right. While we are a bit disappointed there hasn't been more growth in our seeds, we are confident that with the care we have been taking of them, we will see growth shortly. I wish I could have shared a few more exciting photos, but ultimately, I know due to our commitment and to their care and growth, the plants will be perfect at local parks to attract monarch butterflies. It is important to note that the College Station mayor has a Mayor's Monarch pledge. Everyone in the College Station community with a bit of extra garden space is encouraged to plant native milkweed and other nectar producing plants. It is exciting that our project supports this community effort. Lastly, I believe that this project can be continued by having a club or group that is willing to work together with our group or other groups to continue aftercare of the plants for a whole semester or even a year. It would be interesting to have a club monitor the butterflies that are attracted to the plants in their natural habitat and record some results. That could even lead to different directions the project can go in for future classes. For example, the next semester, their group could grow more seeds and add more plants to local parks to continue to grow even bigger areas and gardens of plants to attract more monarch butterflies. Another way to improve this project would be for everyone to plant 2 trays of seeds instead of 1. Doing something this simple would easily double the size of the habitats that we could provide for the monarchs. Also, lastly, having specific dates and times clearly established that we would meet up could help a little more with organization and possibly lead to less confusion. Conclusion. The overall quality and benefit of this project is positive and interesting. I feel our group worked very well together and did an excellent job with it. Ultimately, the monarch butterflies are the ones who will benefit by the plants providing them with food. In addition, the community and landscape will benefit by having beautiful gardens and flowers. Thank you for your time. That concludes my project.